Hello everybody, welcome to the long-awaited finale of the Running Mate timeline. Also, I'm the chaotic one. How you doing? So yes, we're doing the finale. We're going from the years of 1998 to the present day. And I will also be revealing what the next timeline I'm going to be doing. Ooh. Yes, very, very, interesting. Oof, I think you guys are going to be confused by it, the name. But you know, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for me. It'll be fun for me. So, let's go for it. So, in 1998, President Gore would have low unemployment for this year, giving him a boost of his approval ratings. In 1998, President Gore would pass a climate change bill dedicating to, fighting the climate crisis. So, it wouldn't be this, hey, it would already be an issue by this point, and Republicans might be more open to talking about this in modern terms, possibly since we're already discussing and passing legislation for it and everything in this timeline. So we head off to the 2000 election. We have a very popular President Gore facing off against a very unpopular former defense secretary in Dick Cheney, and of course Al Gore will defeat Dick Cheney 318 to 219. Cheney does win the state of Jefferson, however. Very narrowly, however. Going on to 2001, we would have the 9/11 attacks. We would also, due to this, go into the war in Afghanistan. Due to the 9/11 attacks, so the war on terror does still happen, just not the same way it does in our timeline. In 2002, President Gore would sign a public education bill, similar to No Child Left Behind, but a lot more liberal, a lot less standardized testing. Common Core probably isn't a thing in this timeline. Also, there isn't an Iraq war. Al Gore was against the Iraq war only on the basis that we would have to take time away from Afghanistan. If we never went to Afghanistan, Al Gore would have supported the Iraq war, but since we are going into Afghanistan, we aren't going into Iraq. In 2003, nothing noteworthy occurs, so we go on to 2004. We have Democrat North Carolina Senator John Edwards facing off against Republican Rhode Island Senator Lincoln Chafee in this election. John Edwards, very young, charismatic, and popular, just not good at debate skills, goes on to defeat Lincoln Chafee 325 to 212 to become the 33rd President of the United States. Going to 2005, nothing noteworthy. 2006, we would see increased inflation as well as the U.S. housing bubble bursting. So Edwards' approval ratings just drops like a tank, or drops like a fish. I don't know, I'm not good at metaphors or whatever. In 2007, we would see high unemployment as well as the beginning of the Great Recession. And near the end of the year, around August, September, the John Edwards affair scandal would come out, seething a potential impeachment trial due to, unethical means from the president, abuse of power, etc. However, before that begins, Edwards resigns from his post, and his vice president, Carol Braun, would succeed him to become the 34th president. And Braun would legalize same-sex marriage in this time. She was very progressive for her time. And the election, we would have Alaska Governor Sarah Palin facing off against President Carol Braun. And due to the Edwards scandal putting a bad taste in voters' mouths, Braun's connection to Edwards, even though she's not directly connected to the scandal, as well as the recession, Sarah Palin would defeat Carol Braun 359 to 179. I got a kitten on me, and he's about to dig his claws into me. They're all over me, all four of them. Jesus Christ, help. But yes, Sarah Palin does become the 35th president. Why are you on me? Going into 2009, President Palin would sign an executive order raising the interest rates, which would slow down inflation by a lot. The Great Recession does end eventually. It would end a little bit sooner than it did in our timeline. My mic fell, sorry about that. It does end like a day or two sooner, so nothing too big of a deal that Palin would have done. She would also sign a private healthcare bill. I don't know if you'd call it Palin Care or whatever. It would be a private healthcare bill, which gets rid of the arbitrary invisible lines and all of that, We would also see 12% unemployment. We'd have a high unemployment in 2009, kind of a result from the Great Recession and all that. In 2010, the unemployment would drop down to 9.3%, but that is still very high. In 2011, President Palin would withdraw troops from Afghanistan. This would be the fall of Kabul that happened 10 years later, but it's happening now in 2011. And President Palin would pass sanctions on China for, their advances on Taiwan and multiple other reasons. My arm is itchy. I think I got bit by something. In 2012, we would have Democrat Senator Joe Biden, who is facing off against a very unpopular, not that unpopular, but very somewhat unpopular, Sarah Palin. And Biden would defeat Palin. The main issue being the fall of Kabul. Biden would defeat Palin, and he would be a lot more, charismatic than he was in 2020. He'd be able to form sentences. Of course, there'd be the occasional gaffe, but Biden would still, be a lot more clear in what he's saying, because he was in 2012. Though at this point, it was becoming clear that he was getting worse when it comes to his mental health. In 2013, President Biden would shockingly sign tax cuts into law, ushering in a moderate stance as president. In 2014, President Biden would also raise the minimum wage up to $10 an hour, keeping a campaign promise, even though he had to, compromise Republicans. He wanted $11 an hour, but, he compromised on $10 an hour with, the tax cuts and all that. President Biden would sign a bill regulating overtime pay, something that actually really needs to happen IRL. He would also sign a healthcare bill designated for veterans, boosting his approval rating up. Very, very good. 2015, President Biden would declare Venezuela as a threat to the United States, which, honestly, I want to hear him say it. That'd be pretty funny. That country of Venezuela, with those radical people over there. Good people, bad people, I mean. They're a threat to this country. Something like that. I can't do a Joe Biden voice. And in 2016, we would see Joe Biden face off against Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Biden, pretty popular all around, did a lot of good things for the economy as well as healthcare. He would defeat Mike Pence 281 to 257 to win re-election. So Biden would beat Pence. In 2017, Biden would enter the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would hurt him with populists across the country. Though, unlike Trump, he would actually enter the Trans-Pacific Partnership as it was instead of what Hillary would have done, which was renegotiate terms. 2018, there was nothing noteworthy. In 2018, President Biden would sign a bill designated to prevent animal cruelty, so essentially the PACT Act, which Donald Trump signed, but a bit more liberal and a bit more towards animal rights than what Trump did. President Biden would also pass sanctions on Iran, like Trump did IRL. And so 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic would happen, the economy frickin' plunges. Biden would sign a COVID stimulus package, actually, two, and he's facing off against Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, or former Governor Bill Weld, who was the 2016 Libertarian vice presidential nominee. Bill Weld would go on to defeat Joe Biden 287 to 251 to become the 37th president of the United States. We have a left-leaning Libertarian Republican governor, guys. Yes, we do. God, I want to live in this timeline because I want to see how people would react to this left-leaning Libertarian Republican president. I want to see it. It's so unique. In 2021, Bill Weld would be hit with the inflation crisis. He would still sign the infrastructure bill, a bit more libertarian, a lot more cheaper than what Biden would have done. We'd probably say a $200-300 billion infrastructure package, not the 2 point whatever trillion. It would probably not do as much, probably a third of what Biden did, but, it'd be more focused on, roads, basic infrastructure. President Weld would still make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know, Bill Weld becoming president. Not the first time I've done this, and it's not going to be the last. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.